Hey everyone! Do you ever feel like your relationship with a guy is the most difficult thing to understand? Where it's impossible to foresee or predict anything? So you met, fell in love, and decided to be together, right? In this moment, everything sparkles inside. Butterflies are flying in your stomach, and all the girls are picturing a colorful image of a happy and cloudless future. But unfortunately, in reality, everything can be a bit different. My boyfriend and I are an example of such a case. Well, actually, I thought that everything was great with us just a week ago, but the illusion of happiness suddenly burst like a soap bubble. We met at school during recess, and when he hugged me, I smelled some other girl's perfume. With such nasty, Swedish floral notes. Ugh! He reeked of them. My imagination immediately pictured a stunning blonde in red with long legs, which she puts into my boyfriend's lap, hugs him, and chirps sweetly with her brightly rouged lips. Jeez. I hate perfume like this, and I hate girls who try to steal other girls' boyfriends. Jeez. All these thoughts raced through my mind while my boyfriend was enthusiastically talking about taking one of the top places at a math Olympiad, and that it will help him in a lot of his future admissions to college. I wasn't listening to him at all. I was raging silently. I blushed to the roots of my hair and even started to puff like a grampus. I was also imagining kicking the hell out of the long-legged rival, pulling out her hair. To the question, "What's the matter with you?" I pursed my lips and coldly said goodbye to my boyfriend. That same evening, I met with my best friend, shared the story, which was lying beyond the bounds of my understanding, and graphically described my suspicions. I even mentioned the blonde from my fantasies. For some reason, I had no doubt that this boyfriend snatcher was a busty blonde. "You're right. Your boyfriend is definitely fooling around with someone else. Well done for not letting him play you. They are all like that," my friend exclaimed. One time, I noticed a hickey on my ex's neck, and I immediately broke up with him. He tried to explain that it was his allergies, but I have no doubt that it was a hickey. Well, it is possible that such an evidence could be left by his boring four-eyed desk mate with whom he always fights. "But I'll never believe it," she added angrily. My friend strengthened my fears, but all the most terrible expectations were confirmed by a deadly find that crushed the last hope. The next day, I found irrefutable evidence of my boyfriend's cheating on his shoulder. A hair. A long, white hair. At first, I wanted to make a scene, slap him across the face, and run away. I even imagined the sound of my hands smacking his cheek, ringing in the air. But I suddenly decided to act smarter and catch my boyfriend at the crime scene. Well, in order to kick the wicked boyfriend snatcher's butt, so that she'll think before stealing someone else's guy. So despite the thunder and lightning inside of me, I kept myself under control, as I usually do. Sweetly said goodbye to my boyfriend. I told him that he shouldn't wait for me after school tomorrow. My best friend and I will be preparing for an English test. To which he meaningfully said that he also had plans for tomorrow. The next day, I tucked my hair into a dark gray hat, disguised myself in my mom's sunglasses and a raincoat, and waited for my boyfriend around the corner of the school. I saw how he parted with his friends and went in the opposite direction from his house. I followed him, and a few blocks later, he slipped into the gates of a small, nice-looking house. And then he came out in the company of 5 charming lap dogs with long, white hair. One of them he was carrying in his arms and carefully pressing to his chest. He had the others on leashes. The shock I experienced is hard to describe. So it turns out that my boyfriend makes extra cash by walking dogs? And that hair I found on his shoulder wasn't a woman's, but a dog's? And my busty blonde rival is just a lap dog? I didn't know what to think. But what about that perfume? It still doesn't add up. In the meantime, my boyfriend returned the dogs to their owner and went about his business. And the next destination was, what do you think? A perfume shop. A few minutes later, my boyfriend came out of the store and walked on. I was completely baffled and continued to follow him, lost in my thoughts, still hoping to catch him red-handed. At some point, I realized we were near my house, and my phone suddenly rang. Ha! It was my boyfriend calling me. He, of course, heard the familiar ringtone, noticed me, and was already walking towards me. I wanted to vanish into thin air, but I bravely pulled myself together. My boyfriend was very surprised by my appearance. He laughed and said I looked like a spy. I got confused and embarrassed. And then out of his pocket, he took a bottle of perfume. He said that he'd come to my house for a reason. He had long wanted to give me a gift. To do this, he had been working as a dog walker for several months. And over the past 2 weeks, he'd went to every perfume shop in town to choose the best scent. He experimented on himself. His friends even made fun of him because he smelled of women's perfume. Today, he finally found the one. And here's where all the puzzles came together. Well, of course, I didn't tell him about my suspicions and spying. I'm ashamed. Maybe someday I'll tell him and we'll laugh together. Have you ever had such a ridiculous situation happen to you? Mine actually ended pretty well. Who knows what would have happened if I hadn't figured out the situation and kicked some innocent girl's butt? By the way, the perfume turned out to smell floral and sweet. But now this scent is my favorite. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'll continue to share the latest news and events happening in our couple's life. I'm not saying goodbye for too long. See you!